This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
Look at his talent roster from 1980. I'm going to do a little name association. I'm going to throw a name out there and you can chime in whenever you. But this is who Watts is really getting his hands on in 1980 with Mid-South. Ox Baker.
Heart Punch.
Ron Garvin.
Okay.
Brian Blair.
Bzzz.
Tully Blanchard.
Tully was just in and out, so he doesn't even count.
Hulk Hogan.
Same with Hulk. Hulk only came down when Senior would book him down.
Larry Booker. Stephen Little Bear.
No.
Ray Candy.
Now, Candyman was a hell of a hand back in the day. Ray had ungodly charisma. And Ray could go, man. Ray was very popular.
Your boy, Bob Sweetan.
Stinky.
Leroy Brown.
Not a fan.
Lynn Denton, the grappler.
Lynn Denton was badass, man. Lynn Denton was a hell of a talent that is in the discussions about great workers throughout the years and great masked men. Lynn Denton and the Grappler is a name that is left off way too many times. Very underrated.
People are going to be upset if I don't circle back. Why were you not a fan of Leroy Brown?
Because he wanted to kill me one night. He was very difficult to do business with.
He wanted to kill you.
Very difficult. Huh?
He wanted to kill you.
Yeah, Jennings, Louisiana.
And why did he want to kill you?
Because I was running the show that night and Bill had instituted a no draw policy, which meant that talent couldn't get cash from the gate night of. That if they needed money and they needed cash, and they would have to call Bill, and Bill would have to personally approve it. And I called Bill, and Bill said, fuck him. He'd get his check on Tuesday in Tulsa. And told Leroy that, and he says, well, then I'm walking out. And told Bill, I said, well, he says he's walking out. He goes, no, fuck him, fire him. Right now, fire him. And I wasn't going to do that because we were in Jennings, Louisiana with roughly 120 people in the audience. And I didn't feel like firing Bad Leroy Brown in Jennings, Louisiana on that night. Thought, you know what, Bill? I'll have him call you. I told Leroy to call Bill. And Leroy didn't want to call Bill. Leroy wanted money I didn't have. Since I didn't give it to him, went to go get his knife out of his bag and come kill me. Yeah. Thank you to Sting and Rob Rechsteiner for
Not
at least
letting
being
him
there,
kill you.
making sure he didn't kill me.
Well, that was nice of him.
That was very nice of him. I've never forgotten that.
Huh. Dory and Terry Funk.
God's gift to wrestling.
Frenchie Martin.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Frenchie Martin taught me how to smoke marijuana on a plane.
Here in Mid-South?
No, actually in WWE.
Yeah. And he told you to go to the bathroom?
Go to the bathroom. I don't want to tell people how to do that. You shouldn't do that, folks.
The Assassin.
Was that Jody? I don't even know which assassin this was.
Buddy Roberts.
First name Free, last name Bird. Deep.
Bill Irwin.
Bill Irwin was Scott Irwin's brother. Scott was Super D, and Bill was a hell of a hand. I just don't know that Bill ever had the charisma and that extra ingredient that his brother Scott had.
What about his brother Scott, the Super Destroyer? What can you tell us about him?
He was just an unbelievably charismatic guy that was able to exude that charisma through the mask that he wore. His work in the ring was very unique, and made him stand out in that regard.
Toru Tanaka.
Toru Tanaka, when I was 14 years old, he was the first guy that was in the ring when I had my announcing debut, and I asked everyone to play or to stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Mm.
And then when I introduced Tora, I introduced him from Yokohama, Japan, instead of Yokohama.
Steve Lawler.
Don't know Steve.
What about Jerry Lawler? Jerry came through.
Jerry, absolutely. And Jerry was always one of those special treats that would come through and dazzle you with his mouth. And I don't know a place that Jerry went that Jerry didn't draw money.
No argument from me. Ken Mantell.
Ken Mantell, man. Kenny was junior heavyweight champion, and Ken was a tremendous worker in his day, good talker. But I think that Ken Mantell will go down more than anything as the mind and the booker behind World Class's huge expansion.
Austin Idol.
Conrad?
Yep.
What year were you born?
1981.
1981. You should ask your parents sometimes about, in 1981, did they ever think that they'd walk down grocery stores and see rows and rows of bottles of water? That's right. We're talking about the stuff that comes out of your tap.
Okay.
We're talking about the same thing that you get for free. You pay a little bit to the city for it, but you get it for free. Right there in your own home. Now, sometimes it may not be the cleanest, but you can clean it. You can purify it, just like they do, and they put it in the bottles. But instead of paying 50 cents or $1 for a bottle of water, it costs you pennies to have the same water. I want you to think about something. What's that nice water thing that was real big when you were a kid in 1981? Was it called Avion?
Okay.
Spell Avion backwards for me. Tell me what you get.
I think it's N-O.
No, Avion. E-V-I-A-N. Avion.
Oh. Okay.
Spell it backwards.
N-A.
What's that spelled, Conrad?
I think it's
Naive. That's what I'm talking about right there. You're naive to think that the water in the grocery store on those aisles is any better than the water that you can get at home right out of your faucet that you're drinking right now. And I can sell you a filter for your home that'll make your water taste better than that water you're tasting right now. And you know what? You can help your friends, and you can sell your friends too. All you got to do is inform them, because everybody drinks water. You know anybody who doesn't drink water?
I don't.
There you go. So you can help them get healthier. You can help them be good. And you can save them money while making money yourself. It's the only thing I think of whenever I think of Austin Idol, because that's what Austin did. Austin would sell water purifiers. If there was a get-rich-quick scheme, Austin did it. And the thing about it is Austin could walk into a grocery store.
What about Wahoo McDaniel?
The greatest Native American wrestler ever to put on a pair of boots.
Would you say that in front of Tatanka and Chief J Strongbow?
I've said it in front of Jerry Briscoe.
Oh.
Jack Briscoe would probably be up there as well as one of the greatest Native Americans ever put on a pair of boots. Wahoo was badass though. Wahoo was just, if you're to describe Wahoo one word, tough.
Yeah.
But great. Good Lord, he was great.
See the first guy who had next level chops that you saw?
He's the only guy that had chops. People didn't use chops back then.
Yeah.
Wahoo did, because it was the Indian tomahawk chop that he called it. So it was off of his Native American heritage, and they would call it a tomahawk chop, and that's how the chop came to be.
What about Rip Oliver?
Rip Oliver, man. Rip's another one who is underrated when it comes to work. And Rick and Lynn Denton both retired and faded away into the Pacific Northwest later on in their careers. But Rip was a journeyman. He was a middle of the road kind of guy.
Terry Orndorff.
Don't know Terry. Never met him.
Killer Khan.
Killer Khan. Khan was, I think, he may have been, I know his build is Mongolian, but he may be, I don't know, but really sweetheart of a guy. Really nice guy.
Isn't it true that he was Nick Khan's uncle? That's what I read online.
Really?
Killer is the uncle of Nick. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So you should ask Nick about it next time you're in the
you know what?
I
Probably were there awards given in that magazine that you were reading?
Nope, there weren't.
No awards in that column.
No.
Okay.
You got to ask Nick about his uncle Killer.
Uncle
Killer.
Ivan. Oh my God. How's Uncle Killer doing?
Dude, hit him with that. Just see what happens. Report back. Let us know next week here on the program.
Don't worry. You think I'm scared?
Oh no, I know you're not. Ivan Koloff.
Ivan Koloff, Red. One of the most fantastic athletes in shape. And what I mean by that is he could go at a pace that guys half his size couldn't go. Just an incredible athlete, an incredible performer.
Butch Reed.
That's all Butch Reed. It's the drugs and the ripple talking to you, Prichard. It's the drugs and the ripple. Butch, man, extraordinary athlete, extraordinary guy. He invented the arrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I knew he had invented Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix and the sealant that goes around like picture frames and everything.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he invented that too.
He was a real entrepreneur, an inventive type. Yeah.
Yeah. Before Yeti coolers.
Yep.
Yeah, he had these they're called Bruceys.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you were just stone cold babyface.
Right.
What about Tommy Rich?
Fire Tommy Rich. Somebody say something about fire. I say I'm a little bit fucked up right now. Goddamn, let's go. Hey, yeah, Charlie Race. This Sunday in the Omni.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this is real, but we not only got a handicapper, but we got the best ever. How are you so good at handicapping these games? 4-0, that's quite a streak already.
Let's talk about every pick I've given this year in the NFL as an example. 23-8. Every pick I've given this year. 4 weeks in the bag, 23-8. There's nobody in the country that can match what I do, but I always make sure, because anybody, Conrad, could make up anything. They could tell you and blow smoke and tell you, oh, I'm the greatest. But I am independently monitored and documented, so nobody could ever question what I say and go, I don't believe it. I send every pick to an independent monitoring and documentation service that has to get the pick before the game goes off and then publishes it after the game goes off so anybody can see what I gave. But this is the best start I've ever had. I've never been this good to start a season. You don't win every week, 4 weeks in a row, everything you put out. It's been the kind of year I've had. So get on a hot streak, because when a guy's on a hot streak like me, you want to ride it. I've always had a talent for picking winners. Never quite as hot as I am right now, but I've always been very good at it. And I think it's because I do more homework than anybody else. The average guy or gal watching this podcast, they don't have time. They have a career. They have jobs. They might read the newspaper or go online and see something, but they don't have time 80 hours a week to study the games. That's what I do. And I have a crew of guys behind me, my consultants, who every week we get together 3 times a week and they throw their ideas at me. I throw my ideas at them. And then I pick the final 5 plays on Saturday and Sunday in college and pro football. I've got a great team behind me too, but we're all doing together hundreds of hours of homework. So you don't have to. It's all at Vegas VegasWinners.com.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to VegasWinners.com right now. Let's win some money. You got any good marijuana stories about Tommy Rich?
I'm embarrassed to even tell this story, but I will. Riding with Tommy one time from, I think we were in Birmingham, Alabama, to his place outside of Atlanta. And I was in the back seat of the car, and Tommy turns around. Tommy pours out, like in a bottle, pours out a bunch of pills. And when I say a bunch of pills, we're talking like probably a dozen or more.
Oh.
Okay, in his hand, and takes them. Pours out a bunch in the other passenger's hand and takes them. Did you want some? I'm like, okay. I didn't want to feel left out. And he pours a bunch of them, and there's like yellow ones and green ones and blue ones and red ones, all this shit. I said, what is it? Ain't nothing gonna kill you. So I took him.
Oh, gosh.
And then we got home about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to his place, and everybody else had a room except me, and so I slept on the couch in the living room. And then about 6 o'clock in the morning, rise up, you just get right in, you almost get into that deep REM sleep. I hear the ice bucket, and he's like, hey, we on beer? I was, Jesus Christ, man, didn't we just get in? I gotta go to sleep. Hey, have a beer. And then he rolls a joint, we start to smoke, and his little girl came out. And she came out to see Daddy. And he says, baby, go on back into the bedroom with your mommy. You ain't supposed to be out here with Daddy smoking joint. And I thought that was like that was a surreal moment. But that's one of those I'll never forget, because it was just like, all right, I'm in Georgia now. Boy, howdy.
Yeah, you doing your Tommy Rich about
baby, you ain't supposed to be out here day smoking joint now. Everybody that. Well, damn, baby.
Just so everybody knows, Bruce has done that every now and again to me for more than 5 years, and it tickles me every time. It's never not funny. Jose Lothario.
Super Sock Jose Lothario, another one underrated, but I don't know that Jose ever got over any place like he did in Houston. Yeah, everywhere else he was just a mid-card guy.
Andre the Giant was through.
Oh, I like you.
Mike Sharp.
Iron Mike Sharp, man. Iron Mike Sharp used to take showers for hours, folks. And then he would dry off, but he would also work out for hours after the show. And he would do the wheel for his stomach. He would do push-ups. He would do sit-ups. He would do pull-ups. Sweat. Oh, my God, he would sweat. And then he would take showers. And his showers they were legendary. And as legend has it, I think they were in Louisville, Kentucky, and Mike was downstairs in one of the rooms in the cavern down there underneath in the dressing rooms, and they just locked up the Louisville Civic Center, Louisville Gardens. Mike was down there working out and showering because nobody knew he was even down there.
Stan?
He used to have rolls of toilet paper in his bag.
He was like a pre-COVID hoarder.
Yeah, kind of, man. And he would always like clean out his nose and take the toilet paper and clean out his nose and blow his nose and just, but he was always sweating. And he was the cleanest son of a bitch I'd ever met in my life.
Mr. Wrestling number 2, we've already touched on.
Crotchety old bastard.
Tony Atlas.
Tony No Show. Tony, man, Tony's Tony. And Tony was great. But There were times that as soon as Tony would get hot, Tony would have a tendency not to show up for them big shows. No show Tony. Tony no show.
George Wells.
Oh, wow. Put in Ernie Ladd's words. George Wells, you're the drizzling shits. First time I heard that comment, drizzling shits, was in regards to George Wells.
Jimmy Garvin.
Jimmy Jam. Jimmy was Jimmy. Jimmy did well in Dallas, and Jimmy did well in the Carolinas. But he was an entertaining son of a bitch, I tell you that.
Gino Hernandez.
What could have been?
You think Gino Hernandez and Tully, their characters, it's almost like they were two sides of the same coin at times. Did you disagree?
I would agree that they were definitely the same coin in many instances.
Yeah.
Young, all the talent in the world. Gino handled his a lot differently than Tully did, and there you go.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.